In this video, I'm going to describe all of the features that come with Option Stalker. You typically hear me talk about the scanner, the scanner, the scanner. That is the crown jewel, and it really makes everything else work. But there's so many other features within Option Stalker that I'd really like to spend a little bit of time on. This is the crown jewel. This is our custom search engine. And you can see the green and red boxes, bullish and bearish. I've gone through and optimized all the indicators for every time frame, and it is either on a buy signal or a sell signal. It is either bullish or it is bearish. This binary system makes it very, very quick and easy for us to search for results. So when we're done selecting all of the boxes and we run the search, the results come in instantly. So very, very effective, very easy to use. There's no programming, there's no configuration, no deciding on what time frames to use for what indicators. I've done all the heavy lifting for you, and you'll also see some great fields in the bottom of the custom search engine that you can also select from. So I'll cover this in almost all of the other videos because this really is what helps us find the pattern. So once you have your searches run, you need to be able to take a look at stocks and to visually confirm the pattern. So the trade signals on the chart will help you because you'll be able to take a look, and the trade signals appear for every time frame. So 1 minute to 1 week, you'll see all of the trade signals for those time frames. Now you won't see a 1 minute signal if you're using IEX, but not too many people are trading and using buy signals on a 1 minute basis. M5 and up is really valid, but you can see the trade signals, nice long there, nice short there, great long there, nice short there. The trade signals are very, very reliable. And like I said, if you're a shorter term trader, this is a day one signal. You might be looking at M5 or 15-minute signals for that time frame. Advanced charting. You can add 150 different technical studies to the charts, and most importantly, you can add our proprietary indicators as well. You can add more than one chart, and I typically like to have the SPY running as a separate chart so that I always have one eye on the market. But you can pop up as many charts as you'd like, 5-minute, 15-minute, different stocks, whatever you'd like. Lots of overlays as well. So I think you're really going to like the charting. Charts are very easy on your eyes, light background with dark red and dark green. I mentioned the proprietary indicators. You'll see those across the bottom of the charts, and I've put some arrows here. Everything is toggle on and toggle off, and through all of my videos you'll hear me reference SPY all the time, so we might as well be able to overlay it. You'll hear me talk about relative strength. There's our 1 OSI indicator, toggle on, toggle off. Pressure, toggle on, off. Compressions, 1-0 squeeze. Really easy to overlay. Simple moving averages, 50, 20, 100, 200. Trend lines, you can draw them automatically very quickly. TL20, TL60, TL75, TL120, whatever your time frame is. You can also trade from the charts. Buy, sell, cancel. You do need to have the broker API for this, so you need an account with Tradier or Interactive Brokers to be able to see this feature. But if you're interfaced with those brokerage firms, absolutely you can trade right from the chart. These are very, very important. They are alerts. Just alert alone is for the day, so it will not appear after today. But I use the GTC alerts almost every time because I don't care if the price point has been breached today or tomorrow or a week or 2 weeks from now. It's significant to me, and that's why I'm dropping the alert. So you simply click on it and drop the alert at a significant price level. And when that alert and that condition is met, you're going to get a pop-up on the chart. Click that pop-up and it's going to take you right to the chart so you can take a look at it and see trading opportunities. Very effective means for having new trade ideas coming to you all day long. So you're not looking for trade ideas, they're just coming to you because of your previous work that you've done. Advanced charting, really, really good. Any kind of bar that you like to have, all the different time frames, 150 technical indicators, all of our proprietary indicators. Option Stalker also has e-reaction. This is a search that tells us what the stock did immediately after announcing earnings. So the first day that the stock could trade after earnings, that's what this displays. And it displays it for the last 4 quarters. So if there was an earnings announcement after the close yesterday or before the open today, and I want to take a look at how the stock has behaved the prior 4 quarters to see if there's a pattern, this allows me to do that. Very, very useful. We do a ton of post-earnings trading. Lots of fundamentals. So you'll see across this top part, right now we're in stock ER, description of the company or description of the ETF if it happens to be an ETF. A lot of the statistics, the sector, the group that it belongs to, revenue, a lot of fundamental information. There's a technical reading on the underlying stock. You can also see the fundamentals and how they line up, valuation, revenue growth, earnings growth, analyst ratings. There's also an option liquidity rating. We use that extensively because we trade a lot of options. We want to focus on the stocks that have the best option liquidity. And then you have all of your key ratios down at the bottom. So there are fundamentals. We do mostly technicals, but if you need to spot check fundamentals, we certainly have them. Market view tells you what our market is doing, and it also tells you what other markets have done overseas. So here you can see that they are all based off of ETFs, so these are not live futures quotes, but rather the SPY, the DIA, the QQQ, USO, GLD, and you can see what each of these are doing throughout the course of the day. You can take a look and see all of the upcoming economic releases, and you can also take a look at group and sector strength. So if you see a hot sector, and you can sort by day, week, month, you can look at which sectors are hot, and then if you click this, you can see the different groups within the sector and which groups are performing best. And then if you click the group, you can actually populate one of the watch lists and it'll show you every stock in that group. That would really be a top-down approach. It's popular with a lot of investors. We don't use it per se, but that capability is in the platform if you'd like to try and use a top-down approach. We use a little bit different approach. We're looking for specific patterns within an underlying stock, and we use the custom scanner for that. But this information is certainly available. Here you'll see pre-earnings options. This is a tab that you can click, and these would be stocks that are announcing earnings after the close today or before the open tomorrow. And you can take a look in particular. Well, in this day you saw Micron, Nike, KBH, Cintas were all announcing. And you can see what the expected move is. So in this case, 12.69%. It usually moves 6%. And it's only exceeded that range 6.7 times, 6.7% of the time. Not very often. I don't like to trade over earnings, but I know there are people who like to sell option premium on earnings announcements. And in this particular case, if you had a nice high at the money option IV of 58, which you do, and you knew that only 6 times had the stock exceeded this expected move in the last 3 years, that would be a pretty safe bet to take. You can also see recent volatility, put-call ratios, group performance, and option liquidity rating in the far right. So again, I don't personally trade over the number, but if that's something that you're interested in doing or that's something that you do, this table is going to be invaluable to you. So a lot of option analytics in Option Stalker. This is something that we call max pain. So you can see the max pain tab here. There's a theory that if you took all the option open interest and you calculated where the most pain would be inflicted because of those options expiring worthless, that's what the max pain indicator shows you. And if the stock is fairly close to this number a few days before expiration, or especially the day of, it's going to have a tendency, like a magnet, to migrate towards this number. You can also see the open interest for all the options in that particular month, and they're all color coded, so you can see if there are spikes in calls or puts, and you can see going into maybe an earnings event, or if there's been a big move in the stock, you can see what the option volume has been. Very useful tool. Option pricing. Let's say that you've looked at a chart and you're trying to determine a good option strategy. What you can do is you can use this option pricing table. These are end of day markets. So this is not real time, although there is a way to pull in real time option chains through the broker API. Then you'd be able to take a look at real time option chains in an order entry screen. So this is simply for end of day analysis. You can come in, you can take a look, you can click on the option, and once you do that, you're going to bring up all the Greeks, delta, gamma, theta, vega, and you'll be able to take a look and see what the option implied volatilities have done. So you can see that for this, this is SPY, it has tended to be around the 17 level, and we've recently had a spike up to 25. So just means that options are getting a little pricey relative to their historic levels, and that perhaps you should be favoring some selling strategies. You can also see the delta, so you can calculate how quickly that option is going to move with every point move in the underlying. So that's also very useful. All the Greeks here. And in general, if I'm trading equity options, if a stock has an option implied volatility greater than 35, I tend to favor option selling strategies. If the implied volatilities are below 35, I tend to favor buying strategies. So a lot of option analytics. And the final option analytics is option stats tab. And again, you can select from all the expiration dates. You can see what the put call ratios are, what the at the money implied volatility is, what the change day to day is in the option implied volatility. You can take a look at the option liquidity rating. How liquid are these options? Are they going to be something that I can easily trade? Open interest. All of these are available in Option Stalker. I'd mentioned earlier our proprietary indicators. We've got a number of them. Three that I really like using are 1-0 squeeze. This tells me when there's a compression. I love compressions like that one right there, because as soon as that spring is coiled, when you get a breakout or a breakdown, that move really unfolds quickly. So we love to trade compressions. 3 yellow dots equals a compression, a red dot equals a breakdown through the compression, and a green dot a breakout above the compression. But I'm primarily interested in the yellow dots. So I'm watching for that compression, and then I'm using my own alerts above and below that range to alert me when the breakout has happened. We also have searches to look for the compression. We also have searches to look for that compression breakout. Perhaps my favorite proprietary indicator is my pressure indicator, and we look for divergences, and a divergence would be a buy signal and a negative rating on pressure. So this is like having a monkey on its back because there's a lot of negative pressure, but we're on a buy signal, and that is like throwing fuel on the fire. So love looking for that. This is a relative strength indicator. When it's above 0, it's strong relative to the SPY. When it's below 0, it's weak relative to the SPY. Also critical in our research. So all of the proprietary indicators are available on the charts. Toggle on, toggle off. The chat room is also part of Option Stalker. So here you'll see the market rating. This market rating is predictive. It is not reactive, so we're watching for changes in the market rating. So if we see the market going up, 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 and all of a sudden the market rating starts to deteriorate, this is the current reading 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. If we see the market rating deteriorating, we know we better take profits on our longs, maybe even consider a short. The SPY sell signal, this is the sell signal from the chart on a M5, 5-minute basis, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour. This allows us to see how the signals are lining up across multiple time frames. And the same would be true for the QQQ signal. A double red dot, there is a sell signal on the SPY, plus in this case, we would have that divergence. We would have positive pressure. And so you can only get doubles on the M5 basis, and we use this extensively for day trading. You log into the chat room and you can post your comments, but I will tell you that we're really looking for symbols, and we're looking for people who understand the pattern that we trade, so that when a symbol is put up, we put the symbol up ourselves and we visually confirm the pattern. That's how it works. Very quick, very easy, very efficient. We are super laser focused. So there's not a lot of chitty chat in the chat room. It's all business. And I just want to go back to the crown jewel one more time. This is where you're going to find all your trade ideas. And if you come in and start casting a wide net, so I like to mark option liquidity, and I like to mark weekly options, and start with a couple of indicators, and you're going to get, let's say, 30 different results. Start tightening and tightening that net until you really start to narrow down the number of candidates, and use the criteria that you're most interested in, that you feel the most comfortable with, whether it's trend lines, perhaps it is strength versus the SPY, maybe you're looking for compressions. Whatever it is, you're going to know what it is that you're looking for based on the criteria that you select, and then you're going to really narrow your field down so that when you're clicking on these symbols, double click on the symbol, bring up the chart, you'll be able to see that compression, you'll be able to see that relative strength, you'll be able to see that buy signal. All of this is going to come together. So those are all the features that are included in Option Stalker. It's got so much. It's a very comprehensive solution. Thank you.